been so proud to stand by all of you. Thank you, Jan, Scott, Tim, and the now departed to hockey Toria for all of your heartfelt words. They were very moving. Victoria was very excited when she finished. She just took off, and I think she ran over to say hi to her coach Russ first, but she's off doing that. Oh no, you're back. I'd like to say thank you to all of those who took time to share their stories on that video, 10 years and 10 minutes. It was quite profound. I'm humbled and I'm grateful. Not often do you do some of this stuff and it gets in the newspapers, but the fact that so many families, including 4 families who lost their children, decided to take the time and be on that video to talk about my constituency work. And I'm grateful to the Stringers, to the Batstones, to the Hugleys, and of course to the Laytons. And I see you right there. Thank you. People put a great deal of effort into making today a resounding success and my 10-year anniversary a success. And I want to say thank you to them, and in particular my staff over the past decade who made me look good even when it was near impossible. And I would say sometimes that was a little bit more frequent than I'd wanted. But it has been an incredible experience working for all of you, both at Queen's Park and in M.P.P and Carleton. And to all of you, my constituents, on behalf of Joe, Victoria, and myself, thank you. The purpose of today's event is twofold. I wanted to personally thank you, my constituents and supporters, for standing by me through 4 elections in opposition. I'm the only progressive conservative at Queen's Park in a major urban city. I'm the youngest woman ever elected to my party, federally or provincially, in the province of Ontario. And I'm also the only second woman elected as a conservative in this city. And the first was Jean Piggott in a by-election in 1976, and her 2 sisters are here today. Have taken a lot of chances on me, and 3 of those chances were at a time when the Liberal leader and Premier of Ontario was not just from the same city as me, but we shared a boundary. And even then, because of you, I posted the highest vote totals in all of Ontario. I also wanted to announce which provincial riding I intend to seek in the 2018 election. As you know, M.P.P and Carleton is the fastest growing riding in all of Eastern Ontario and right here in the city of Ottawa, and it will split into 2 distinct constituencies, M.P.P and Carleton. This has been a difficult decision for me because over 4 elections and 10 years, this has been just one community to me. And if I could, I would reset the boundaries to be exactly as they are. But just like all of you, I believe in vote equality, and this is something that I do raise at the legislature. Before I make that announcement, I need to share a personal revelation with all of you. Some of you have remarked to me over the past year that I have not been as present in the media, at events, or in question period as I have in the previous 9. Some people have pointed to the leadership race. Others suggested different reasons. But I think it's time I speak directly to you, my supporters and friends, in a transparent and honest way, just as I have done for the past 10 years. This is not an easy revelation, but it is my personal journey living a very public life. In mid-2014 to late 2015, I struggled with and experienced depression. As former sportscaster Michael Landsberg says, that made me sick, not weak. I had days when I could not leave my bed, and if I did, it was simply to go to the sofa. My famous fire in the belly had been all but extinguished. I felt like I was stripped down. I ached. I did not know my path forward. I didn't know what to do. I had no energy. After Jamie Hughley died, I became an advocate for mental health awareness, suicide prevention, and anti-bullying, not only in Ottawa, but across all of Ontario. Yet, for myself, I was afraid to speak up and seek help for myself. A reminder of the stigma attached to depression. As a politician, I work in an extremely competitive environment. And as they say, all is fair in love and war and politics. I was almost broken, and I knew that there were some who were trying to break me. It turns out, unfortunately for them, I'm a bit more resilient than we all thought. Now, I'm telling you this not to feel sorry for me, and I'm not apologizing for the time that I had to take to get better. 1 in 3 people suffer from depression, including your M.P.P. And that means if we have 400 people in this room, there's likely over 100 people here that are also suffering or have suffered or may in the future. And this has a happy ending because I still have a lot of fight left in me. I have begun to flourish and my struggle has ended. You really don't know how far you can go until you've hit rock bottom and you have had to climb your way back to the top. Today's theme, Stand By Me and You, is not by coincidence. We have stood by each other for 10 years, especially this last year. I look around at dozens of people, Jan, Tim, and Scott among them, who wrapped me in their personal security blankets when I needed it the most. And I credit my strength to them, to my staff, and to my husband, Joe. And to 3 little girls. Rowan Stringer, Tegan Batstone, and my own daughter, Victoria Varner. Rowan has reminded me of my passion. When I was at my lowest, her parents introduced me to her memory. And they asked me to help. I remember that day last June so well. In fact, we parted with me telling Kathleen and Gord that they were helping me, not the other way around. They seemed perplexed by that, and I think I brought a little bit of clarity today to them. But they haven't disappointed me. That day last June, a spark, I could feel it, it finally came back. Maybe not the fire that once burned, but I could feel that there was a spark. And now, I hope that by this June, a full year later, Ontario will adopt Canada's first concussion legislation. After the Stringers. They told me very confidently that they were told by their friends that I could help them, me, Lisa Macleod. I was at once humbled and I was overwhelmed. After learning about the tragic death of their daughter, I didn't want to disappoint them, but I had no idea how. I didn't think I had the strength or the energy. But then, my longtime assistant of 10 years, St. Helen Byers, took me by the hand, and she patted it, and she said, we're going to get back to our roots, we'll get back to basics, it's going to be okay. So after months of struggling to figure out how I could help Gabe and Stephanie, we held a press conference on children's safety and protective rights. And we did that with Ronna Ambrose, the new leader of the Conservative Party. So a decade after I introduced a Children's Bill of Rights as my first private member's bill, it is my intention, once Rowan's Law is passed, to introduce a new one shortly with the Batstones and the family of the late Eric Layton, Patrick and Sherry. And then there is my darling daughter, Victoria. She makes her mom so proud of the time, so much of the time, and she did a really good job today, didn't she? It was this year when she started hockey with her Nepean Wildcats hockey team, and they were absolutely incredible. I found myself in possibly the happiest place I've been in my life. I became a dad mom, and I referee every weekend. I was unbelievably happy at the arena, even at 6 a.m. After the Barhaven Christmas parade last year, I had the entire team over to my office for chili and hot chocolate, and the girls started to play government at my desk. They thought they were presidents and first ministers of manufacturing, and they yelled out order at the court a lot. So I was inspired, and they inspired a new program that I unveiled just last month at Carson-Dorito Public School, and just last week at Metcalfe Public School, called Girls in Government and Leadership. I wanted them to know that they can do anything. If I can do anything, they can do anything. And after having lost my audacity for a while, I also don't want young girls to lose their audacity either. And I'm really proud that two women who were role models to me in my life, Senator Marjorie LeBreton and Councillor Jan Harder, have participated in this project with me. Thank you. In the case of Village to Raise a Child, it sure did take a hockey team who helped me find my balance, my enjoyment, and the authenticity of being a regular person. So thank you to the entire Nepean Wildcats hockey squad. All reflections of you and the community that I represent, I have regained my sense of purpose. My voice is stronger, it's just not as loud. I'm still a progressive conservative, but I'm a less partisan one, and I'm still a fighter, but it's the battles that make sense now that interest me. I prefer to make a difference. And that is why I will run again in 2018 for Patrick Brown and the Ontario Progressive Conservative Party. In fact, I still do, but I used to do it with my husband Joe or my former MP Bill Tupper. And I would marvel at the foresight of those community builders who came before me, like Bill, Jean Piggott, Andy Hayden, Rich McDonald, Doug Thompson, Walter Baker, Ben Franklin, Bob Mitchell, Norm Sterling, and John Baird. They built state-of-the-art community centers like the Alfred Taylor Center and the Nepean Sportsplex. They built the Queensway Carleton Hospital and the Highway 416. They did it using the pay-as-you-go principle. They never lost sight of the agrarian roots of the old Carleton County, and self-reliance and strong families were always represented by them because they were your values. And I have tried my best to continue in that tradition. The people of Nepean have shown me how to collaborate with others to build schools,